It's been about a month and a half since I've blown glass. It's a new season. I'm not sure exactly what it all entails. It's been a real God journey. About almost a year ago, I felt like I heard the Lord say to quit glass blowing. So I started to ask him, like, what do you mean? Like, quit the way I'm doing it, or quit, like, temporarily, quit, completely, however, you might mean, Lord. And then I'd be asking, like, do you want me to do it now? And during that process, I was waiting and waiting, and I heard it again. And so then I, once again, asking the same kind of questions. What do you mean, Lord? Like, quit completely or quit temporarily? And I didn't feel any peace about doing it then. So as time went on, I continued making work, and I'm starting to feel burnout of glass blowing. I'm starting to feel this, and during this time, I've communicated not all the details, depending on the person, but I shared it with my wife, of course, shared it with the specific individuals that I worked with in glass blowing, that I partnered with, that we would assist each other. And then started getting more burnout. And I started, like, talking more about this to my wife. And Christmas time was coming up. I was going to spend about 2 weeks holiday with my family and her family. And so I talked to her, and I was like, love, I really feel like if there's going to be a time to quit and take a moment off and just contemplate whether I should continue glass blowing or not. I don't know. I really felt like I needed to take a month off at least, and I needed to, and I felt the peace about it at this point, clearly, and contemplate even whether I should continue, to really truly entertain that idea of whether I should continue glass blowing or not. And so I basically am talking to my wife about it. I'm saying, basically it'll only be 2 more weeks after it, and it's already the slower time of the year, quote unquote. Usually isn't for me, but slower time of the year. And so she gives me the okay. So once she gives me the okay, and I'm already feeling this peace about the timing, and really feel like it's a then time, I need to do it then, and it'll be the best time. And she gives me the okay, then I share it with the people that I specifically work and partner with in the glass studio, and then I shared it with the manager at the studio. Everyone, just gave me the okay on it, and I'd already, talked to everyone, I think, except for maybe the manager. I think I brought it up in front of him one of the managers in front of him one time, but I don't know if they heard or not. But so anyways, I end up telling them that, and then about 3 weeks later, I start my time or whatever, or 2 weeks later, and then take my month off. And so right when before I started, the day that I decided to do it, that same day, I look into my Facebook messages. That whole day, I'm a little nervous. I'm like, did I just do something that I don't want to go back on? Like, that I should have done that. And the end of that day, I get this Facebook message from a friend of mine, and she sends it to my wife and I. She sends it to both of us, and she shares, like, oh, John, I really sense, like, I had this dream the other night, and it was the Lord having pleasure over your glass blowing and provision over it, and it was like on and on and on. And I just kind of was, I've never had anybody have a dream about me blowing glass ever that anyone ever told me. And it's the timing of it and the specific message of it was crucial. And literally it was actually sent the day before, but I never even saw it. And I didn't even open it until the night. It was like I decided it, told everyone, and then later that night, before I went to bed, I saw the message. And so all day I was kind of like, what's gonna happen? Like, should I have done that? I felt peace about it, but at the same time, it was scary. And so then I get that message, and it was peace. I feel like it's just been peace since. And there's been obviously moments of nervousness. And this is the first day back into the furnace. It was gonna be a month, and I took a month out of the hot shop. I taught a class, in between these last 2 weeks after the month, but I haven't blown glass during that month. And so this has been the first time for me to make my own work in about a month and a half. I'm really, really excited. It's a new season, a new day. Working on some light fixtures for a house in Michigan for a friend of mine with their interior designer, and I'm also working on some vases for a builder in town that I connected with through doing another lighting job for for a restaurant in town. And so it's interesting too that the month right before I decided to do this, I've been contemplating it very seriously, and some different lighting jobs fall in my lap with like interior designers, and then literally I think it was the day after or the day of, or within like 3 or 4 days, I believe there was 2 different potential gigs that happened. And whether or not they happen or not, I don't put my trust in that. I don't put my trust in like a gig or anything like that. But I feel like it was just a sign. It was like there was literally an invite to meet with the interior designer, and then I connected with this builder through another job I was doing with an interior designer in a lighting place for a restaurant. And so it was just really interesting. A lot of the stuff that I really want to be focusing on more is custom, one of a kind, and personalized. Basically working with the customers very intimately and talking about what they want, and bringing that to fruition for them and for me as well, and for the Lord. I don't think it has to be anything weird, but it's doing things for the Lord is living out of that place of trusting that it's no longer you who live, but Christ who lives in you. And so this journey has been pretty exciting. I really honestly, so I felt like the answer already came when I was like, okay, well, I need to ask the Lord like if I'm going to continue to blow in glass or not. I felt like the answer came before I even asked. So that night I opened the message, but the message was sent the day before I even decided, for sure. So God's timing, He's already got the answer before you ask. And just know that before you ask, God already has an answer prepared. He already has an answer for you. And be brave to follow Him. I'm not saying do what I'm doing or try to whatever, but there was a timing, there were specifics that the Lord was drawing me into this new season. And so I feel like it's going to be really exciting, focusing on more of the work I want to be making, and not keeping myself just busy doing just projects, just doing something, but doing specific things that are more unique and more exciting for me. And then most of all, I think that things that I was actually created to do, things that God dreamed of doing through me before I ever breathed. And now I breathe and art is formed. I love you guys, and I miss some of you guys if I haven't seen you in a long time, and give me a message. I'd love to hear from you, and love you guys a lot. Peace. Enjoy the bliss of the King and His kingdom. The King is already here, and His kingdom is already here. That it will appear, and the knowledge of it will come to the whole world, but at the same time, the King is here. That's what Jesus preached. The kingdom of God is at hand. Love you guys.